Okay, for conversation one, you're going to watch this video by Mike Wesch, who is at, I think he's still at Kansas State, and he looks at the web in terms of an anthropological area of study, and particularly YouTube. He's very interested in viral videos online, and he tries to watch how they come into being and what makes them viral. So when you're watching this video, notice how he's making an academic argument in a non-conventional format, which is in a video setting, and make sure you pay attention to the way that each claim he makes is supported by evidence, and that evidence is typically a video. He clearly has done quite a bit of categorizing of videos to get to the point where he can choose ones that represent larger data sets. So pay attention to that. Take notes, because you'll want to make sure that you understand how he's organized his material. Second thing you need to do is find your own examples of interesting viral videos, and you need to think of another source or another way of looking at the same issue that Wesch is exploring. So find one additional source that gets at something you're really interested in. Now the reason you do that is because if what I do is just assign you one video and everyone then comments on that one video alone, the students who do the commenting first will have said everything that you want to say. With the requirement that you bring in another perspective, another article that you find on your own, it allows us as a group to have a conversation that is more than just pointing out the really interesting parts about his video. It's about connecting the really interesting parts about his video to other things that we read as a group and individually. So you'll want to get all of those kinds of sources together and then write the conversation. So just to make sure, this is the video that you should come to. It should have this title, An Anthropological Introduction to YouTube. It's kind
I'll
of
just let you hear the music for a second. Can you hear it? Okay. And there's this great moment. Gary Wolk has written about this. He says, Brolsma's video single-handedly justifies the existence of webcams.
And what you're working with here is not only noticing that there's a video going on the screen, but the way that the author is saying citation. So he's just read you a quote from another author, and he's making an academic argument. So please pay attention to that as you're making your way through this video. I found one that I liked that was an example of a viral video, and this is this, I guess a teenage guy whose name is Keenan, I believe. So here's his viral video. So the interesting thing about Keenan is that he has some sort of disease that makes his life pretty challenging. And that comes up in this article that I find. But this is way too short of an article for me to think of it as very strong. But in the actual video, he says something about who his real friends are. And that makes me think about a way to get another article that allows me to talk about issues around identity online. So once you have all of your materials, then what you're going to do is just write the conversation. I'm putting on the screen right now this kind of information. You don't have to have this information for the actual post that you make that everyone else in the class reads, but I want you to always make a copy of everything that you do, and in that copy that will go in your learning record for the class, you do need this kind of information. So make sure you're making a copy, writing this in Word, then copying it into the discussion post, and then making a copy of it for your online place that you save these materials. The reason for this is probably obvious to you, but just in case it's not, often halfway through the semester, something will happen and a student will lose everything that they've written for a class. If you have an online saved version of it somewhere else, you're in a good space. If you also write your documents first in Word, then if something happens with the interface for the discussion board, you don't lose everything that you tried to create just because you drafted it there. So do these things in this order and pay really close attention. I write these things out so that you'll know what to do, so you'll see that I say these things that I've just said out loud, but I'm also giving more detail on how to find a source or how to think about this particular video. So please read through the conversation assignment.